Good morning. Double Talk 73 here, your fishing friend. We're just going to do a little fishing and chatting this beautiful Monday morning. A little cool here, but that's okay. Let me show you what I'm using. I'm using my heavy duty bottom rigs here in Marron River in Bolivia. La Cazadora 11-1, which has a max 72 pound drag. Tortolino 11,000 reel, which has a max drag of 70.5. .013 braid, which has a 69.5 pound test. 5/4, I don't know. And a 69.6 liter 6/0 barbless hook. And I've got two different baits I use. I'm using mole cricket larva on the first two, and on the last two I'm using large liver. Okay, they're all set up the same way. So I'm gonna go fishing on this morning, and let's see if we can catch some fish. Put my rod stand down. Might help if I put it not inside the rock, wouldn't it? Get our distances set up here and clip the lines. There I am. Okay. Got a fish on there already? What took so long? Must be a little one. Nope, it fibbed to me. And I thought I set the distance, but I don't guess I did. Must have not clipped it. I wanted around 90. That a little short. That was a little short. See what we got there. That looks pretty good. That'll work. We shall see. Hey, Nosy, good morning. Looks like we might start off with a 40-something pounder. That's a good start. Come on in here so I can get that other line. Come on. Not gonna cooperate with me, are you? Yeah, maybe it just grew up a little bit. Click, 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 click. Hey, D-Rock. D-Rock's online. Hello, D-Rock. We are in the presence of A champion. Ah, yes. This is putting up pretty good fights so early in the morning. Maybe it's already ate its Wheaties. Here we go. Good morning, viewers. Well, my viewer count's not working on the widgets, so I guess that probably means my other widgets ain't going to work either. I tried to set them up again last night. But we'll find out, I guess. I've got the part of my rig, part of my dashboard covered up. It shows me the new followers, so I need to rearrange that so I can see that part. It might help. Okay, let's do that. Let's do this one over this way. And do, where's the other one? There it is. Do that one over that way. There we go. Thank you, Cortex. I appreciate your follow. See, it didn't look. Widget didn't work. But I appreciate the follow. I truly do. Oh well, we tried. That's all we can do. That's all we can do. Let's see. Is this the one I want? Yeah. Doodly-doo. Doodly-doo. There we go. Yeah, let's catch some fish. They either work or they don't. Ain't a whole lot I can do about that. But thank you, Cortex, for your follow. I appreciate that. Puts me closer to my goal. The date that I've got on there, 11/26, is my wife's birthday. Today is my youngest son's birthday. He's 24. Going on 54. You know what? When I get these set again, I might ought to check my license. $10.30. Yeah, we better get us. It's not going to let me buy it yet. If you'll let me buy it this way. Okay. check it after we get this fish in. 35,000. I've lost $70,000 here in the last few days. Well, yesterday, and then the last time I was down here before my system gave up on me. Good morning, Greg. How you, buddy? Thought I'd start my stream a little earlier this morning. I got some stuff to do. I gotta hopefully get a metal detector delivered when they said it was going to be delivered. The USPS delivers here on Sunday. They said they tried to deliver it yesterday at 10:39 a.m. Unsuccessfully. The problem with that is my wife, me, and my son were all here yesterday morning at 10:39 a.m. That was just after my church service ended. So it's not like nobody was here. So somebody is prevaricating there, you know what I mean? And that's not good. I'm friends with our postman, so I'll ask him this evening when he comes over to deliver our mail. I know he wasn't the one to try to deliver it because he knows everything about delivering here. He don't worry about my dog. And I don't think Hercules was outside at that time. But when he's outside, they all just leave the packages laying at the end of the sidewalk, so it's no big deal. Okay. Let me see what that does. Is that better? Da da da. Ba da da. Is that better? I got it turned up just about as much as it'll go. Can you hear me now, Greg? The sound says it's on. Let me see. Take another look here. Doo-doo-doo. Well, it says my mic's on and the mixer says it's putting out sound, so that's the only thing I know. Let me try and see if it'll mute. It says it's putting out. Can you hear me yet?
Regalo 714 said, maybe my end is not working. I don't know.
Okay.
Lumberjack 009 said, I can hear you fine.
Okay, thank you, Jack. Thank you very much. I'm gonna say all I can tell is what's going on the my end here. Of course, y'all know I'm not a computer wizard or anything like that. Ah, mercy, mercy. Trying to get all this stuff squared around. It's hard on an old man, you know that?
683 said, there you are. I was worried about you. Haven't seen you on here or YouTube. Glad to see you're okay.
Thank you, Lolo. My system give up on me. The GPU.
Biohazard Ivy said, good day, sir. How are ya?
Well, hello, Bio. I am fine. And Lolo, thank you for your concern. I had to ship my system. The GPU was just way overheating, and Jack said no. It was Maldropper said he'd had one explode in his system and burn it up. Well, I was afraid that'd happen, so I contacted Dell, and I got 3-year premium service with it. So they tried for, I guess, close to 2 weeks to fix it by remote. Didn't happen. So they said box it up and ship it to them down in Houston, and they would work on it. So supposed to have been back last Wednesday. Didn't happen. But this system came in Tuesday, I believe it was, and I spent most of last week trying to get it, all the programs and everything. Wow.
Said, oh yeah, when it's over 80%, you need to be careful with the CPU.
Well, the CPU memory was running pretty high too, and temperature.
683 said, running smoother.
Oh Lord, yes. This new one. This has got an i7 processor. Oh, Biohazard, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. I'm sorry, there again, none of my
Biohazard Ivy
widgets work.
NP
Well, I just have to look over there and see one. I got 2 people follow me.
Biohazard Ivy said, I'm here to fish and chill.
Me too. If you come to my stream, that's about what you'll see. I'm just going to fish and chill. Now, when the events are on, the next event should be Christmas.
Said, maybe I also take some fish and chips.
That sounds British. But when the events are going on, I think the next one will be Christmas. Different story. I like to help, and any videos that I can produce to help people. You know, sometimes they add new things. The big deal last year was the boat races to get the packages, and we found out that you could open your map.
Biohazard Ivy said, I'm Dutch, but that is just a stone work away.
Yep. We found out last year you could open your map as soon as you started the race for the packages, and you could see on your lake map where they all were, so you could figure out the best route. We found that out by accident, and I know that probably helped a lot of people. It helped me, especially in where was it? Netherlands, I think. That's the one where the package was hid behind the broken wall.
Lolo 5683 said, there is no Thanksgiving event, is there?
Not that I know of.
Biohazard Ivy said, no, I don't think so.
No. Boy, Nosey's that's his second yen he's caught since I've been here. That's pretty good. Way to go, Nosey. I'll just keep on catching these little ones. I'll catch a big one here in a little bit. Good Lord willing. And the creeks don't rise. But welcome, viewers. Welcome, all y'all, and followers, and chatters.
Zed. It's normally Halloween and then Christmas firework event.
Correct. And St. Patty's. We got Christmas. You're welcome, Nosy. We got Christmas, St. Patrick's Day, 4th of July, and Halloween. That's about it. But I'll have a video this year when we get to St. Patrick's event on how to farm for bait coins. And if you have to start out with at least 200 bait coins, and then use my method, and you got to prime the pump and have faith and believe, and you have to be level 53 so you can get to Blue Crab Island. But if you have those two criteria, you can wind up the end of the event with over 2,000 bait coins, because we didn't figure it out until I guess a week into the event, and light bulb came on, and my buddy and I, we both wound up with 1,800 plus. Well, all three of us wound up with 1,800 plus bait coins than when we started. So it's pretty productive. But I'll have a video on it if they don't change anything. A lot of times they don't change stuff when they go from year to year with their holiday events.
So I'm debating Fisherman or Fishing Planet. What do you think?
Fishing Planet. The reason being, you can get this game for free. The Fisherman, you can go online and you can buy the code to play it for $7, anywhere between 7 and 20. They're selling the codes, and the developers that own Fishing Planet sold the rights to the Fisherman.
Zed. I have both.
Okay. I've never played the Fisherman, but I like this. This is just what I've started with. As a matter of fact, I've got 3 accounts. This one's got the most money and the most bait coins in it, so I fish it most often. I got one account. I'm level 34 farming walleye still at New York. Then I got another account that I think I'm like level 17 or something like that. I haven't played it in a long time. Nosy, are you catching all the unis? Not going to let me have any? This one in 50 pounders.
Zed. Noting wrong with that I love me the old walleye.
Yes, they're fine. Oh, we might have one here. Look at it run. Did you leave me one, Nosy? Did you leave me just one uni? Maybe. Y'all, I caught my first 60 pound plus fish here yesterday. I caught my first 60 plus pound fish here. I caught a 64 and a 62. As long as I've been fishing here since it was open. Well, I've been fishing since, I'm on a testers team, if y'all don't know it. And so I've been fishing here a month, 6 weeks longer than anybody else in the game, except for testers. And I have never caught, I caught 40 pounders, 50 pounders, 70 pounders, 80, 90, 100 and plus pounders. Never any 60 pounders. Well, yesterday I caught 2. So they must be kind of like chicken lips. I was watching Box Dash Pressed fish here one day, and he caught 2. About the same weight as the ones I caught, which I thought was interesting. But that made me happy. That was that's a little goal, just something to try for. I know you don't have any choice of what size fish you catch, but an unusual size, I kind of like that. That's like catching a uni Oscar. Man, that was a bear for me. or a Univolgazander. Wow. Both of those, they were tough. I caught the Univolgazander by accident fishing for something else. I think that's the only way I caught it. And the Uni Oscar in Makumako took me a while. And my buddy, Mizzou fan Mike, was fishing right beside me. We're using the same bait, same weather, same everything. Fishing the same hole. He caught 2, I caught none. So come back later on another day, he caught 3, I caught none. He horse laughed at me, I know he was. But I found another place where I'd caught unis and caught one there.
I took a break from the game because I was real life fishing, but now autumn is here. I rather fish in game LUL, no need to be wet from the rain.
That is true. That is true. Well, I'm sad to say, see, I'm an old man. I'm 73. When I turned 65 here in Tennessee, you can buy a lifetime license for $5. They shipped it to you. I do have a uni. It comes as a credit card, plastic credit card. And it's good for forever.
Biohazard diving. Said. Really?
Yep. And guess what? I haven't been fishing the first time since I got it. 8 years. That's sinful. But my son, my youngest son, and I, we used to fish a lot together.
Said. That is great. I wish that was here.
It's just a trophy? 103 trophy? It's still nice. Good fight. Good fight. That's got to be the biggest trophy I've caught here. Thought you left me one, Nosy. I was wrong.
Biohazard diving. Said. That is a big trophy, almost unique.
Yeah. I thought 101 and above was a uni. I guess I was wrong. So I get for thinking, isn't it? It's what I get for thinking. It's like somebody smells something when I'm thinking. It said somebody said that thought the cook burned a stew. But anyhow, when my son, whose birthday is today, like I say, he's 24. When he was younger, we used to fish a lot until he was about 8 years old, and then baseball kind of took over. So I started coaching baseball, and it just, man, it was every day, hours every day, and during the summer it was all day long, every day. He got pretty good, and I enjoyed it because I got to relive my youth through him. Because I really, I like baseball a lot. I've told.
Biohazard diving. Said. Happy birthday, that he may have a blessed and happy life.
Well, thank you. That's very kind of you, sir. Very kind of you. And I say sir because I figure you might be a sir. That's just a guess. But thank you very much. He will. He will. Got us another one of them 50-pounders, I bet. At least that's what it looks like. But before he got really heavy into baseball, I had a boat, had a bass boat, and
Biohazard diving. Said. Yes, I'm a Sir LUL.
okay. Good guess, huh? Well, I have a 50-50 chance. Oh, we got us another trophy here, maybe. But anyhow, he really wanted to go fishing a lot, so we fish. Even when he was in school, until the weather wouldn't let us, we fished just about every day. Then baseball kind of put it on the back burner. And I coached him in baseball till he was 16. Then he went to a junior college and played baseball there 1 year and pulled a tendon in his right arm. Nothing permanent, didn't require surgery or anything, but it kind of put an end to him pitching it at that level. So he quit
Biohazard diving.
baseball.
More like 80/20 here on Twitch, but I understand what you mean.
Yeah. But when he was young, we'd say, you want to go fishing or you want to go catching? He said, well, let's go fishing, which means I want to drive the boat. So we put the boat in and we'd fish here a little bit and fish there a little bit and fish there, just so he could drive the boat around. But if he said he wanted to go catching, I got GPS locations on our honey spots, and we go fishing at our honey spots. And of course, we didn't eat anything that comes out of this lake. Nuclear power plant is about 25, maybe 30 miles up the river. And I've gone up there to fish, and I've caught brim with 3 eyes and dorsal fins, all kinds of mutations, and I won't eat anything out of the water anymore. I believe this one is a uni, not a trophy. But anyhow, if I catch any catfish down below the dam, I give them away. I just tell people that come out of the river, if you want to eat them, fine. If not, that's okay. It won't hurt my feelings. Feed them to your dogs or your cats. They'll eat them. They like them.
You're rather safe than sorry.
Yes, better safe than sorry. But they're still fun. So anyhow, we got our GPS location and catch fish. And when he was 4 years old, I bought him for Christmas a little Zebco 101 rod and reel, 2-pound test line on it. Why have I got a prescription ready that I hadn't even asked for?
This is a minor pop channel.
Yep, this is a uni. It's probably 150 pounds. Be my guess. At least I got 700 feet of line on there. But anyhow, I bought him that little Zebco 101, 202, I forget which it was, but it had 2-pound test line on it. And we were fishing one afternoon, and he hooked into something. And man, it had that little old pole bent over worse than this one. I mean, it was bent, buddy. And I thought, well, that line's going to break at any time. He fought a little bit and said, Daddy, help me, help me. I said, no, son, you hooked it, you get it in. So he fought it, and it'd strip out, and he'd get it in, he'd strip out and get it in. Well, finally, he got it in. I reached down with a dip net and got it up. It was about an 8-pound catfish. He caught on that little old $4.99 rod and reel. So I took a picture of him holding the fish up like this, and it almost went down to his toes with the rod and reel laid on the back of the boat, or on the side of the boat, on the side whale, and him standing in front of it, and took the picture out there where we bought it, where I bought the rod and reel at Sportsman's Warehouse. They blew it up to 8 by 10. They put it up on their bulletin board, and I said, caught with this little old rod and reel bought here, 8-pound channel catfish on 2-pound line. And it stayed up there for a couple years. That's a good advertisement for them. But he sure did like to fish. Not so much anymore. It's a shame when you grow up, the things that you enjoyed when you're young, some of them just go by the wayside. I went to a yard sale and bought me a really, really nice surf rod and reel. Guy wanted $200 for it, and I said, nah, I ain't gonna pay $200. 175, 200, something like that. Anyhow, I said, nah, I ain't gonna pay that. He said, well, what would you give? I said, I'd give $50. He said, oh no, I can't take $50. I said, okay. That won't pay your bills, and I still got my $50. And we looked around some more at some stuff he had. My wife bought a few things. We started walking towards the truck, and he said, hey, come here. So I walked over and he said, would you still take it for $50? And I said, sure. He said, well, go ahead and give me $50. Yeah, $50 worth of line on it. I just don't, when I go to those sales, I don't like to pay what people want for stuff. I'll do the best I can to get it for less. 161, nice one. That's right. If both people are happy. Thank you, Nosy. That's what it's all about. Tennessee is an offer and acceptance state. If you make an offer on something and people accept it, that's it. It's a done deal. That goes way back when. See, I'm also the kind of guy that if I say something, like I'll sell you my truck for $1,500, and later and we shake hands on it, and I later find out that my truck's worth 10 grand. I don't care. I already said I'd let you have it for $1,500, and we shook hands on it, so that's it. I figure my word is my bond, and if I'm not as good as my word, then I'm worth nothing. So. Oh yes, definitely, definitely. I used to travel a lot. I had a salvage business, and I traveled 6 days a week. I bought large mainframe computers all over the United States, drove my own truck, picked them up, or had sold a lot of them to Taiwanese, and they used to have overseas containers delivered to where they were, and I'd load them up for them. But my territories from Key West, Florida to Seattle, Washington, from Bangor, Maine to I guess the farthest west I went was Albuquerque, New Mexico, that way. And just about everywhere in between. Made a lot of money, spent a lot of money. Should have been, I thought it was going to last forever. You know how things like that are. Should have kept more of what I made. But, I enjoyed it. My whole family enjoyed it. That's all that matters. Well, thank you, Gabri. Thank you for your follow.
My grandpa always said if you can't back up your words, you're worse than trash. And to be fair, I agree to that.
Yes. Like I say, my word is my bond. Thank you, Gabri. Appreciate the follow. Thank you very much. We're getting closer. Closer, closer, closer. Whoops. That fish jumped out there. That's pretty cool. I do appreciate. My widgets don't work, so I do apologize for that. Woo, 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 woo. There's my widget.
Nice fish seems good.
Thank you. We're just a fishing, just a fishing. See, there's something you had to put up when you come to my streams. Every once in a while, I'll break out into a song. I might even know half the words, but I know most of the tune. But that's part. It runs more people off than it brings in. But I like to sing. When I was younger, I was in a church choir, and the Bible says, "Make a joyful noise unto the Lord." It doesn't say sound pretty, or sing perfect pitch, or on note. Just make a joyful noise. So that's what I did. When I was in the youth choir, my aunt Naomi was the choir director, and she'd stand at the back, and I got a deep bass voice when I sing, and she'd stand at the back of the church and said, "I can still hear Bob, I can still hear Bob, I can still hear Bob." And then when finally, do I have another uni here? Yep. Thank you, Frank. Glad to be back, buddy. This is that new system I told you I ordered. The one I sent off for repair still hadn't come back from Houston. This one came in. I paid $2 grand for this system, and it came in with a big old dent in the top. Ooh. When I took it out of the box, I was so upset. Believe me. Waited almost 6 weeks for it to get here, and then had a dent in the top. Now, the box was perfect. It came UPS. And when anything comes UPS, I know how they handle them. So I checked the box, Had a few scratches on the side, where they rubbed stuff up against them, but no tears, no rips. The clear packing tape across the top was intact. It wasn't cut or anything.
What shop fishing for today?
Well, hello there, Tish. I am fishing for catfish down at Marron River. In Bolivia. And I think I might have me another uni on here. Don't want to come in. But if you come and watch my stream very often, you'll find out I like to fish for just whatever will take the bait. That's what I do when I go real life fishing too. I like to fish for catfish real life too, because it's always such a thrill when you set the hook on them big ones and they pull it back down. That gets the adrenaline pumping. Or big striped bass too. We have striped bass that run through the waters down here below the dam. They go 50, 60 pounds. Big hybrid striped bass. My dad came up from Texas here a bunch of years ago to visit. He wanted to go fishing. Well, he's military, so he doesn't have to have a license. His military ID. Retired military.
Joe South 79 said, "Morning double, how ya feeling?"
Hey Joe, I'm doing fine, buddy. Feeling great. Full of vim and vinegar. Glad to be back on.
Said, "Oh, I hear ya. I generally only bass fish, but I'd love to try catfishing."
Oh, I like it when you bass fishing with those ugly sticks and composite rods. So when you set a bass, you got a lighter rod, and you feel them pull back too. But catfish, they'll pull a rod out of your hand. I mean, it's exciting. I like it.
Joe South 79 said, "Good deal."
Here we go. Nosy left me another uni. Thank you, Nosy. But my dad came up. I took him up to the dam here below the house. It's just a few miles below my house. If you go by highway, it's about 4 miles below the dam to where you can drive. Thank you, buddy. I thought you'd caught them all, really. Anyhow, he's out on the fishing pier. They got a little pier that they built. Kind of messed up the fishing for a few years because all the riffraff, they moved it around, everything to make sidewalks, and this little concrete fishing pier. It juts out from the sidewalks. But anyhow, he's up there fishing, and I'm just jigging, catching white shad and gizzard shad, just having fun. And the guys over fishing for catfish come over and say, "What are you going to do?" I said, "Well, you're welcome." They want to use them for cut bait for the catfish. I said, "You can have them." So they take whatever I caught and take it over and cut it up and put it on their line. But anyhow, my dad's up there fishing. He says, Bobby, come and help me, come and help me." And he's holding on to the rod with both hands.
Are you going to join the smallmouth bass cup?
Probably not. I'm not a smallmouth fisherman. If it's the only place I can catch them is New York. And I catch them there by accident more than on purpose. It might be one of those that I might join and fish just, to add volume to the participants, because but anyhow, Dad's holding a rod like this in both hands, and it's bent, it's out like this. Got a big fish on there, and it's stripping line. He crankled with this stripping line. So I said, "Okay, I got it. I took the rod out of him. 30 minutes later, came loose. So I crank it in. This is the truth. There was a scale on there about almost, say, 3/4 the size at the bottom of a soup can lid. Big, and it was a striped bass. Ain't no telling how big that bass was, but he'd foul hooked it. And in that swift water, we wasn't going to get it in. But it was an adrenaline rush to feel that fish fighting and pulling, fighting. I thought he'd somehow hooked a big catfish. Or maybe we have shovelbill up there. A little 5-pound shovelbill. You think he got a 100-pound whale on there. in that swift water, they'll take that bill and go like this against the water. And man, they put up a fight. Spoonbill catfish. They're clean fish. Their mouth's on the bottom. They don't eat any. You can't catch them. You have to foul hook them because they won't take any bait or any lure. But I caught one about 5 pounds, I guess. I took it over to my father-in-law, and he nailed it up the tree and skinned it, cut it open to get the guts out of it, and cleaned it. And he'd ate them before. He said, I want you, now this is before we washed it out or anything. He said, I want you to smell this. And he opened it up and stick your nose down and smell it. Just as clean, fresh smelling. No stink like it do out of the other fish. You got to clean it out to get rid of all that stink.
Golly, that's intense. It always makes me wonder if that giant is still out there in the water just roaming around.
Well, you know they are. I used to fish either up in the holes or on the wing wall in a trash gate when I had my boat. My buddy, we'd fish up there. And with a fish finder, depth finder, whatever you want to call it, whenever there's fish on the bottom, it's black. That's what it showed up on the depth finder. When you go anywhere near between the dam and there's a train trestle about half a mile below the dam, anywhere from that train trestle all the way up to the dam is solid black. You try to figure out how in the world you can put any kind of bait or lure down there and not catch a fish. There's got to be millions of them down there. And they just, the catfish and the stripe, and I mean, it's, you know, the biggest fish gets the best meal. So I can't imagine they'd want to go anywhere else. They're going to stay where the food source is. My buddy Larry's daddy, he was the postmaster in a little town. It's kind of like a suburb of Chattanooga here, Hickson. He was a postmaster, and he was also a retired military diver, Navy diver. And he used to dive for TVA and clean out the inlet tubes for the dam where they produce the hydroelectricity. And the last time he went down, he come up, took his gear off and said, I'll never go back down again. And when he got home, he told Larry, his son, he said, there were catfish down there at that time at the entry to those tubes as big as Volkswagen. So he guaranteed, they're just laying there. He said he guaranteed they'd swallow a whole man without any problem. He said, hey, I ain't never going, I don't care what it pays, I ain't never going down there again. And he never did. That's a big catfish, big as a Volkswagen. Now, Larry's daddy was not one to, I mean, he was a fisherman, don't get me wrong, but he was not one to stretch the truth. My wife says when I start telling stories about something, she says, now y'all got to remember, he's a fisherman. Because they're always bigger, faster, longer, faster, you know, way more, way less, whatever. Embellishments, that's what he called it, embellishments. But Larry's daddy would not embellish. What it was is what it was. He's the one that taught me thank you, Newsed. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. I don't have a widget, but here's my widget. Woohoo! Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And welcome to my stream.
UZED6 said, happy afternoon from the miserable UK. LOL.
Oh, no,
Doing well within yourself.
well, thank you. I hope you are as well.
This match said, haha, my mom always tells me to talk to older fishermen because they'll always have advice or an interesting story.
Oh, I got stories, believe me.
UZED6 said, love the widget mate. Smiley face. Mate widget.
That's my widget. A widget from an idjit. How about that? I would imagine, Zed, that y'all are locked down again, aren't you? I have a friend in East Essex, South Essex, South Essex. I'm sorry. Uh, he has AS, and he's been locked down for years before the COVID. Yeah, we're fixing to get that here. I wish we already would. My wife and I, we lock ourselves down. We're both in the old. I'm overweight with heart problems. My wife's a cancer survivor, so we're both in the high risk category. So we've kind of locked ourselves down since March, early March. We figure if either one of us gets it, we both going to die. Because I'm going to be by her side in the hospital. The only way they're going to get me out is for the police to come and handcuff me and drag me out. And if I get it, I don't want her near me. But my wife and I have been married 47 years, and she is the light of my life. She is my life. My thank you. But my oldest son, when he was 16, got run over by a school bus, and it run up across his chest just a few inches higher, and it had squashed his heads. And they took him to a little old cheapy hospital here close, Tennessee. The ambulance are required. Well, they what I was saying is that the ambulance attendants here are required by Tennessee law to take a patient to the nearest hospital or medical facility or something like that for care. So they took him to a little old hospital over here close to us. It was close, 5 or 6, maybe 4 miles, I guess, from where he got hit or run over. And we followed him over. I did, and I went in the triage room with him, and his blood pressure was going just like this. They couldn't control his blood pressure. And when they cut his shirt off, you could see the tire marks where the truck had run right up across him. And they were fighting with him with his blood pressure. And the doctor told me, the ER doctor said, "You need to leave." I said, "No, sir." He said, "You need to leave." I said, "That's my son. I'm not going to leave." He said, "Well, I called security." And I told him, pardon my French, I said, "You better call a damn bunch of them, because I'll whoop every one of them. You do your job. I'll take care of me." And he looked at me, and I guess he figured I meant it. And he left me alone. Well, he left me alone. Thank you very much. But he wasn't going to run me out. It just wasn't going to happen. I don't know any of the security, but I'd lived in that area of town long enough that I knew just about every cop on the force. Oh.
I had it, and it only felt like bad allergies, but I know it affects everyone differently. Stay safe and healthy.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I tell people, all y'all, followers, viewers, all y'all are in my prayers every night. Friends, family. I have so many people that I pray for, and I include all y'all in it as well. Prayer works wonders. But my buddy over there, it is East Essex, not South, over in East Essex, because of his sickness, he's been locked down for years. And when the COVID come along and the Prime Minister issued the lockdown, he said, "Now I can tell everybody, welcome to my world," because I've been locked down for years. Because the way his was, if he caught a cold, he could have died, let alone COVID or measles or mumps or anything like that. So welcome to his lockdown. Yeah, I tell you, I agree. And the worst part about it is we used to fish a lot together, and we talk on Discord. And he had this AS affects his nerves and his joints. He can't sit down at the computer for more than 2 minutes. He hurts so bad. So I email him every once in a while to find out how things are going, how he's progressing, and he always answers, or his wife does, whichever. His wife's name's Mandy. But we can't Discord. We can't. He feels so bad, and it hurts me for him to hurt so much. So there again, he's in my prayers as well. That's the most I can do for him and for y'all, and at least that's what I do.
2812 Frank Neiman said, the PM is in lockdown for next 2 weeks for coming into contact with someone.
Wow. That's a shame. I was taking a lid off a gas can the other day, plastic gas can, put some gas in the lawnmower. When I twisted it, put a little nick on the knuckle. I didn't think much, just a little bit of blood came out. I didn't think much of it at the time. That sucker, I put a Band-Aid on it, later wash out. That little dude got infected. And it got a little sore, but it got infected enough and heated up, it killed the skin around the cut. You know, you get a little cut like that, and then this, because it overheats, and it kills the tissue, so then it peels. Oops, wrong one. I can't see numbers. Well, there was a fish on there after all. Oh, there's my son, Cabela Fella. That's my oldest son. He's the one that turned me on to this game. He was fishing in Texas yesterday morning and said he had to leave. Said, now he's not a saint, don't get me wrong, but he said that the bullying, the racial slurs, and the swearing was so bad. He just had to leave. He said it was terrible. So I reported it to the devs, and one of the game masters said he'd take a look at it. So he went to Florida and ran into virtually the same thing there. It's like a lot of people on the video games think that they, young and old, and everything in between, think they have to cuss. I don't know why. It's like movies nowadays. Every movie you go to is cussing and swearing, and I don't know why. It does not add not one thing to the value of the movie or to the continuity of the script. It just, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm too critical. I don't know, but one person, when I was talking about that on a chat, said it was a particular movie that had a lot of killing and whatever, and I watched that, and they said, well, you complained about the language, but you watched all the killing. Didn't that bother you? I said, well, there's kind of a difference. When somebody's killed in a movie, you know it's not real. But when you say those words, especially that phrase, God did, that's the end. That's it. I turn it off. I don't nothing else to do with that movie. But I said, when you utter those words, those you can't call back. They're already said. They're out there. But the killing, no big deal, because you know those people aren't dead. At the end of the movie, just to be alive. but those words that they spit out and spew out of their mouth, it's out there forever. Can't call them back. That's why when I'm around people, I try to think before I speak.
Said, you said you like to bass fish, right? If so, do you have any tips or tricks? I've been doing it for about 5 months now and I've noticed improvement, but I'd like to get better.
Are you talking about real life or on here?
Dispatch. Said, real life.
Fish early morning, late in the evening. Watch your weather conditions. When the barometer is falling, the fish will go into a feeding frenzy. That's when I bass fish, that's about what I did. Now, for whatever it's worth, I have caught more bass by accident than a lot of people do on purpose. I like to fish riffraff with worms. Work them off the bottom. I like rattle traps, and some of the new lures, rattle traps that really rattle. They got the sound in the body of the lures. They seem to work good. Fish are attracted by smell and by sound. Their sight's not the greatest. Water temperature has a lot to do with it. They like cold water, so if you've got a way of telling where the thermocline is in the water, you'll catch more fish in the colder water. That's about it, I guess. True story. The guy.
Said, I think my problem is finding face.
Yeah. Now they like structure. If you'll watch some of the bass fishing world champion and competition, they fish, a lot of them fish around lily pads and hydrilla, but a lot of them fish out in the open because they'll find a structure there, an old road bed or fence row or something like that that has collected limbs and whatever when the current's moving. Fish like structure, and fish around that, find that structure, and you'll do good too. Anyhow, true story. This guy lived next door to me. He had a boat, and he asked me one day, "Do you want to go fishing?" I said, "Yeah." So we went and put the boat in the water, went fishing, and we were casting and just we caught a few fish. Wasn't having a lot of luck, but we were on the water and having fun. That's really all that mattered. So he had his, threw out once, got this big backlash in his reel. I mean, huge backlash. So he said, he piddled with it. I said, "Have you got a big lure?" And he said, "Yeah, I got this thing I use out in salt water." And I said, "Well, put it on there and just cast it over and over and over and see if it won't pull some of those knots out." So he put that lure on. I mean, this sucker was this long, about this big around. I have no idea what it weighed, but it was pretty heavy. So he started throwing it. We were 50 or 60 feet off the bank, maybe 100, somewhere in that neighborhood. So he started throwing it towards the bank, and I was fishing out where I knew some structure was underwater. So he started throwing it. Finally, it jerked some of the knots loose, and that lure hit the bank. There was a dirt bank, and it hit that bank, fell down the water, and the fish nailed it. Well, he's trying to reel it in, and he's still got a lot of backlash on the reel, and it's not reeling right, so he grabs a hold of it and starts pulling it in by hand. and gets it up the boat, and I reach down with a dip net and dip it out, and it's about a 5-pound bass. I mean, it's nice, between 4 and 5 pounds. So we put it in a live well. We brought it over to the house, and he took it out of the live well and took pictures of it. Well, there used to be a pond at the end of our subdivision where they drained it, and he took it down there and put it in that pond. There was brim and all kinds of frogs. I mean, big old frogs down there. So we knew it had plenty of food. And I thought it was spring fed, so we knew it had good oxygenated water. So here, a year or so after that, they moved. My wife goes over to a yard sale that's on the back of our subdivision, and she's looking around, and they've got this mounted fish for sale. And my wife said, my husband would like that. That's a pretty nice bass. And the lady said, you ain't going to believe, my husband caught that down there in that pond. That bass had survived down there in that pond for 2 or 3 years before that guy caught it and had it mounted. Guaranteed it was that bass that we throwed in there. That was funny. I said, yeah, you ain't going to believe where my husband caught this. My wife just smiled and said, thank you. Because she knew the story too. Thought that was funny. Fishing's fun. Just don't take it serious. It's like my son used to take his baseball real serious. And he also played basketball for a school that had a lot of international kids come from all over the world, come to that school, that high school, to play basketball where they could get noticed and get college scholarships. And Shay, one of the kids that graduated from there a couple years after Brett, I forget, he went to Kentucky for 1 year, and then now he's a point guard for not Golden State. I don't forget now. Sorry. Anyhow, that's the quality of basketball players they had at that high school. So anyhow, I always told him, I said, listen, don't take it serious. The baseball, the basketball, don't take it serious. Play for fun. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. But when you sign that contract, when we put your name on the bottom of it, that's when it becomes serious. Then you need to take it more serious, because then it's your livelihood. But until then, just do the best you can. Give 100, 110%. Have fun and enjoy it. That's the way to do it. And he did. Made a whole lot of difference in his mindset. But when he hurt his arm and couldn't pitch anymore, he started playing softball for the church. And let me tell you something. He's 6'4". Right now he's about 240. And anytime he wants to, he can put a softball over the fence. I got videos of him where I say, give it a ride, Brett. Next pitch, bam, over the fence. And as soon as he hits it, he don't take off running. He just starts trotting because he knows it's gone. When he was younger, we were at a church up here at their lot, just hitting softballs, messing around. And this little old short guy, he probably wasn't much over 5'7", 5'8". Not saying that's real short, but you know, I'm 6'3", so to me he was short. He come walking up and said, "Hi, my name is so and so. I'm just moving here from Texas." I said, "Well, glad to meet you." Told him my name, told him Brett's name, and said, He said, are all the fields around here the fence about this? I said, yeah.
Good morning, TV.
Good morning, Z. So he said, yeah. I said, yeah, they're about this, 319, 329, something like that. And he said, man, we got to talk and come to find out he played on Dudley's professional softball team down in Texas. He said they got $50 for a home run. He said he'd get rich up here. Said their fields were same length as baseball fields. I mean, their fences were same length. They're 365 and 319 and stuff like that. And he said, man, I get rich up here at $50 a home run. I said, well, join this church team. It was a Baptist church that we were playing on their field. I said, join the church here. And he said, well, my wife's going to church. I said, well, join the team. I'm sure they'd love to have you on their team. I don't know if he ever did, but somebody can hit, of his size, that can hit home runs over 365-foot fence. That is a wallop. That is a wallop. I played industrial softball for about 8 years. And I could hit a home run every once in a while, but not consistent. So I just learned how to hit line drives and how to dump the ball in where somebody wouldn't. And I like to aim at the pitcher's feet. Because you're only 38 feet, I believe it is, the pitcher's mound from the home plate, slow pitch softball. That's close.
Zandra.
That's close.
You got a new follower.
I sure did. Thank you. Thank you, Z. Thank you, Glizzy guy. I appreciate. Here again, I tell y'all, I got no widgets. They don't work. So I'm my own widget. My idiot widget. It's supposed to be that little blue fish with a red wing flying down across here, but he doesn't do it, so I do it for him. Ha ha ha, do, la pa pa, thank you. If I had a brain, I'd be dangerous. Give me just a second and I'll reciprocate your follow. So thank you very much. I appreciate followers. I appreciate viewers. Y'all make my day. Z will tell you, this is my fun. This is, during this COVID thing, is really what's kept me sane. Fishing on here and talking to y'all. Besides being on here fishing, I've got all my honeydew. My honeydew. When I get off here, my honey says, I got something else for you to do. Okay. Let me put this one down, then I'll follow. Hey, bud. What was that? That's your phone? Oh.
Liz, I got 69. Said, hey man, how you doing? I just started playing Fishing Planet. Great game.
Well, you must be in Texas. Are you in Texas? Let me give you a link that will help you a lot. There you go.
Said, https://steamcommunity.com/shared file/file details/question mark ID =17869602335.
That is a map of the location of every species at Texas. Now, it won't tell you how to catch them, when to catch them, or what to use to catch them. I've got videos on YouTube, same as my channel here, Double Talk 73. That'll tell you more information, but that link is a map for every fish location in Texas. And it would have helped me a lot when I first started fishing, because you don't know where the buffalo are, you don't know where the shiners are, so I hope it helps. But welcome to my family. And I figure all y'all followers are my family.
Said, thank you man, been trying to get some fish with some cut bait.
They're in Texas. Well, I hope that'll help you. It sure would have helped me when I first started playing. My suggestion to new players is two things. Don't get in a hurry. Learn to fish. Take your progression. Rank. Excuse me. Level. And stay at Texas to your at least level 8 or 9. And you've got enough money to buy a 13-pound rig with the 1/4 ounce purple narrow spoon. Take that spoon with you. Go to New York, which is not a very expensive lake. Fish on the right end of the boat dock, almost right straight out. There's two bright yellow-orange trees on the far shore to the right of the rock wall, the rock bluff. Fall color orange. And cast out there 165 feet, 3-speed, stop and go off the bottom, and you'll just catch walleye day and night. Peak times are better, but you can stay there. My other game that I play, that I've got on here, I'm level 34 in it, and I'm still at New York catching walleye. They're just fun. And every once in a while I'll get in a boat and go over and catch the uni sauger at night. But the walleye are fun. They pay good, and as you progress, as soon as you can, buy a bigger net so that you don't have to spend a lot of your money extending, and just figure on staying there a while and have fun. It's always fun catching fish, especially in a fishing game. Take you about $25,000, I think, $25,000 to $30,000 to buy a jig winner rod, and I forget the reel that goes with. They're 13-pound, and you use 10-pound line, and you can catch anything there at Emerald Lake that won't destroy your rod reel or break your line. But you'll catch. There's no uni walleyes there, but you'll catch 5-pounders, and they put up a good fight. Then once you get over there, get a boat and go over there fishing at night for the uni saugers, I've got a video on my channel on YouTube, which is same as my name here, Double Talk 73. It shows you how to catch a uni sauger, but you can go over there at late evening, early morning peak times and catch uni. I forget whether it's grass or redfin pickerel, grass pike, grass pickerel. I forget. Been a while since I fished there, but there's only two unis there. Is one of the pickerels and the sauger. Everything else just goes up to trophy. But it's fun. Every once in a while, even with the level I'm at, I go there to fish just for fun. Because it's fun. For fun because it's fun. Yay, hey. This is one of them 40-something pounders that thinks he's on steroids. But we'll stick with it. I let a lot of fish go up here because if I put this one down and pick up another, there's a good chance that I could lose it because I use barbless hooks, so I get more XP and more cash. Because I don't ever buy premium. I figure if I can't catch enough fish to make up the difference in premium, then I need to find me a different game anyhow. When you're first starting out, premium is worth it because it'll help you level up and get more money faster. Because you get 50% more premium, 50% more XP and 50% more money than just without it. So it helps. But there again, don't get in a hurry. When you start at Texas, do all the tutorials so that you learn how to fish with different rigs. There we go. That's a nice one. And just don't get in a hurry. Progress from lake to lake to lake. After you leave Emerald with whatever level you decide to, you can go to Rocky or Colorado once you get the level enough to go there. And that same jig winner rig will do you there as well. 13-pound rig. And you can have fun. And you can save up your money till you can buy Brutus 910, I believe it is. Let me look here and just say. I think it's a 910. Let me get this. Yeah, Brutus 910, a Thunderspin 4500, .008 braid line. Whatever float you like to use. It's got to be a bigger one. And 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-aught hook and shiners. And you can go to Michigan and fish for pike or big blues. Well, oops, no wonder. Got the wrong rig. Forgot to look at that one. And you can farm pike up there and get a lot of money. And build up your money until you can.
Right now I use some cut bait to get cat and use a spoon and catch some grass pickerel and some spotted bass.
Yep, there you go. The bass will pay more per pound. And they're everywhere. They're everywhere, they're everywhere.
Guy 69 said, "Yep, hey good."
Yep. And you can use that gold, what is it, 1/6 ounce spoon? I believe that's what it is, that the bass hit good. And keep it. Don't sell it. Don't get rid of it. Don't get rid of that rig, because if and when, and you will, believe me, you will run out of money. You'll travel somewhere and, oh, I forgot this, or I need to buy that, and you'll run out of money. Everybody does. Everybody does. There you go. But keep them in your inventory, because you will run out of money. I don't know anybody that, I run out of money 3 or 4 times working my way up. Forget to buy something, go home, and then I don't have enough money to get back there. So then I go back to Texas. Yeah, but you can always go back to Texas if you keep those lures in that rig, and you can always go back to Texas and build your money back up. That's the good thing. Free to travel. The only thing you have to do is you have to have $200 so you can buy the advanced license, so you can keep those bass instead of just getting XP. There you go. But you still have to have $200, or you have to catch bluegill until you get $200 so you can buy that advanced license. So you can keep the buffalo and the catfish and the spotted bass. Uh-oh. Nice one, Nosy. Yeah. I know that was a fight. Those tombikies fight hard. They really fight hard. But yeller. That's a nice fish.
Bliss I Guy 69 said, yeah, I bought the unlimited advanced like says.
Smart. What is it, 50 coins? It's not much. But if you don't have 50 coins, it's a lot. But that's smart. I did that early on. When I first started, I didn't know a lot about the game. So I went and I bought 2,300 bait coins.
Only 7 point.
Oh, really? Oh, that is cheap. That's awesome. But when I first started the game, I bought 2,300 bait coins and 360 days of premium. I thought that would help me along. Well, I'm going to tell you something. 2,300 bait coins don't last too long. I spent 800 on Michigan, I think 600 on Florida. I bought Texas. Anyhow, bam, there's 1,500 coins gone. So they don't last long. But I never have to worry about going to Michigan. All I got to pay is the travel. Don't have to buy a license. Same thing with Florida. And I bought them. I started playing this game the first week in November of 2017. So I've been playing it 3 years. This past week, 3 years. And shortly after I bought them, just after Thanksgiving, they put them on sale. And I thought, well, my son was playing it, so I'll buy him the same thing I bought, $150 worth. I'll let that be his Christmas present. Well, they put them on sale at 50% off. So I bought him the same thing for $75. So if I'd have waited, I could have bought mine for $75. But you know, haste makes waste. But anyhow, it helped me to some extent. But $150, see, I have bought 2 DLCs.
Bliss I Guy 69 said, I'm only level 7, I think.
Don't say only, because it took your time and effort to get there. So not I am only level 7. You are level 7. Way to go. Got to start somewhere. Like they say, every journey starts with the first step. And in this game, every level starts by catching the first fish. Boy, isn't that astounding? Oh, wrong one. See, here I am. Talking about fishing, don't know what I'm doing. There we go. We'll take that one. Oh, pull. Come on, pull. Are you a uni? Come on, pull. Pull, pull, pull against that drag. Pull, pull, pull against that drag. Tell St. Peter at the Golden Gate, you just have to make him wait. 'Cause you just gotta pull, pull at that drag. That's one of them 50-pounders on steroids. Boy, it's so nice to see my bit rate line just green, just nice, and that means I'm not dropping frames. It's not jittery. I'm so happy. And my oldest son and my next to the youngest son are both very computer literate. Tell me that this computer should last me the rest of my life. So the i7 processor. Got a RTX 2060 video card. I got 1 terabyte solid state drive and a 2 terabyte hard drive. And it's not overclocked, so I'm not going to burn it up. I don't know, it might be a uni. He's dragging it on out there.
My guy 69 said, nice, nice.
Yeah, and it came in with a dent in the top. That's what upset me. I almost sent it back. I really did. But I spent a day and a half putting programs back on it that I knew I would be using. And that's a lot of work to just, wipe the hard drive, send it back, and then get another system and have to put it all in again. So I figured, well, this is the part I didn't figure. I ordered a case with 6 fans. The processor is liquid cooled, but I ordered it with 6 fans so everything would stay good and cool, right? Well, there are 2 fans on the video card. 2 or 3? 3, I'm sorry. There's one in the back, a big one in the back of my case. There's one at the top. They sent me 3 fans loose in a Ziploc bag inside what arrived. 120 millimeter fans. And I figured, what am I supposed to do with these? If I open the case and put them in, I void my warranty. So what am I supposed to do with these extra fans they sent? I know I paid for them, because they're nothing free. So I'm going to call tech support and find, I've decided to keep it. Now, what I do with them? Set them up here on my desk and look at them? I can be a smart-aleck, sharp-tongued devil every once in a while. But the worst thing about it is the people that are tech support like that are really, really good at their job. They know what they're doing. So they think you should be able to know what they know. And it doesn't work that way. Tis sad but true. See, when people ask me questions, I don't take that attitude that you should know as much as I know. If you ask me a question, I'll try to explain what I know as best I can so that you'll understand, or whoever asks the question. If I don't know the answer, I'll say, I don't know. I don't try to malarkey anybody. If I know, I try to impart as much information as I know. If I don't, I say I don't know. Somebody asked me, it's like smallmouth. How do you catch smallmouth? I don't know. In this game, I catch them by accident. Now there is another guy on this game. It's North Wind Sport Fishing, all one word. And if you go on YouTube and type in North Wind Sport Fishing and click on enter, he's got a little bit of everything. He is very, very knowledgeable. And I sometimes use his knowledge to help me. So that's one that I would recommend. A lot of them on here, they say, this is what I'm using, and I caught a fish. Well, that doesn't tell you anything. Okay, they caught a fish. How did you catch it? Where did you catch it? What time? What were you fishing with? What was the rig? Hey, thank you for uni. But they really didn't teach anything. And there's one guy on here who's really bad about that. I mean, he show you to catch the fish. He'll show you what he's using and how he works the lure, but unless you know the lakes, you have no idea where he's fishing. So that information is kind of useless, like tits on a boar hog. Just kind of useless. Teats, I'm sorry. But I don't mind, you know.
Was I guy 69? Said, how should I work this spoon?
I work it two ways. I use if you're using a 1/6 ounce, I'd use a 2-speed, and you can work it off the bottom, stop and go, or you can work it about midway in the water, stop and go. In the game, it's just the opposite of real life. Most fish in this game hit it when a lure is on a drop. In real life, they hit it when a lure is rising. So, but the stop and go works really, really good. Either, like I say, either off the bottom at 2-speed or in mid-depth. That's the way I use them. For whatever that's worth. I did it again. All I gotta do is look at my rod stand and see where it goes. Hit my hand. Bad joke. Oh, we ain't getting any other than that. You ain't getting no 50-pounder. Well, maybe we got one now. Got a half a net. Half a net, half a net, half a net onward. Into the Valley of Doom. Road the 900. I forget the poem. It's been so long. The Charge of the Light Brigade. We got two on. Let's see which one of these are. Oh, thank you. Let's try 4 first before it gets off. Come on. Let's try 1, see what it is. It's a bigger fish. We'll stay with that one. If the other one's still on, we'll get this one in and we'll go back to it. If not, that's okay. Oh yeah. Come on, one. Come on, come on, come on. Here we go. Oops, that's not where it goes. That's not where it goes. My fingers are too big. And my brain's too small. Well, we're getting closer to my goal. So thank y'all. I appreciate all your followers. New followers, old followers, I appreciate all y'all. I appreciate the chat too. Before I was streaming and chatting, my wife used to think I was crazy because I'd sit here and talk to the monitor, but it wouldn't talk back. I've told people too that down south we have a tradition when we're fishing. A lot of people down here chew tobacco. I don't.
Man, these grass pickerel bite like crazy.
Here you go. There you go. And they pay too. But a tradition down here, like I said, a lot of people in the South, men, and a few women, chew tobacco. So,
Guy 69 said, I live in North Carolina.
okay. But it's tradition down here in the South to spit on your lure or spit on your bait before you cast it in. And those that chew tobacco, that tobacco juice spreads out in the water and gives the fish something to smell better. Well, I don't chew tobacco, so I use black licorice is what I used. And I tell people, said they want to know how I catch so many fish. I said, well, I spit on the lure before I cast it in. They say, it's a video game. I said, yeah, and you ought to see my monitor. It's a mess. Where I've been spitting on the bait and spitting on the lure. Not really, but it sounds funny anyhow. I hope you weren't affected much by the hurricane that just went up the coast.
Guy 69 said, LOL.
Yeah, so my monitor is just a mess. My wife heard me come down to say that one day. She come down here and looked at mine and said, your monitor's not a mess. I said, I'm just talking, honey. Talking to my monitor. She just shake her head and walk away. And sometimes I get excited and I catch something really big, or like a new personal best.
My county was hit bad. 5 died, 1 child
Oh.
and a lot of roads are washed away.
Oh, my prayers are with you and your family and your people around there. And those families. That's terrible. I think the worst thing that could happen to a parent, I mean the absolute worst thing, is to outlive a child. That would just tear your heart out. I know y'all were getting a lot of flash flooding. That's something that showed on our news. They said at one time, down around the Keys, they got 18 inches of rain in 24 hours. Now I'm trying to figure out what part of the Keys down there is still above water. Period. That is a real trash mover type rain. That's a lot. Before they built some new levees around Chickamauga Creek here in Hamilton County, every time it rained 2 or 3 inches, we get flooded.
Yeah, we got 10 inches, 14 feet where the people died from flooding.
Wow. That's terrible. I think it was in your area, if I remember right, where the campground flash flooded, and that's where people really took a hit. It's still a shame, an absolute shame. When I still had my boat, when I think Katrina hit New Orleans and Texas, I wanted to go down into Mississippi.
Yeah, that was where it was 14 feet. I live in that county you're talking about.
That's terrible. But when the Katrina hit, I wanted to take my boat and go to Texas and help people. I was going to take some water and food and whatever I could put in the boat and go down and see if I could help. My wife wouldn't let me. She said, "You're too old. You get down there and you'll wind up having to rescue you." So instead of going, they were collecting food at a place, one of the radio stations, or excuse me, one of the TV stations. And I took what spare money I had and bought water and baby diapers and feminine hygiene things and peanut butter and 5-gallon cans. I went up to my local hardware store. I know the manager, he's a buddy of mine. I used to coach his son in baseball. Anyhow, I said, "Bill, I'd like to buy some 5-gallon buckets. What kind of deal can you give me?" He said, "Well, how many you want?" I said, "I'd like 100. He said, 100? And I told him what I was going to do with them. He said, "I'll tell you what, if you buy 50 at $2 and something," they were $5 or $6. He said, "If you'll buy 50 of them for $2 a piece, I'll give you another 50. So these buckets cost me $1 a piece. And I thought that was pretty nice of him at Ace Hardware. And I took them and put them in the back of the truck and the lids and then all the stuff. I took 2 truckloads of stuff over to deliver. But when I showed up with the 5-gallon buckets, a lady there, one of the news people, said, "5-gallon buckets?" I said, "You have no idea what you can use a 5-gallon bucket for. You can put things that you want to keep dry down in a bucket and put the lid on it. You can put a plastic bag in them, use them for a bathroom. You know, you can store stuff in them, protect stuff, valuables, whatever." Oh, I never thought of that. You think outside the box. Think outside the box. Is this another uni? That'd be nice. If this is a uni, this is where I'm going to end my stream this morning. I've got some things that I've got to do. And if I get a chance, I'll get back on later on today. If not, I'll get back on tomorrow morning about the same time.
Guy 69 said, "Yeah, a lot of people nowadays don't use their mind."
Well, you know, what your mind is, a lot of people think, is just to keep your ears apart or someplace to rest a hat. Well, this is going way down the creek. Down the creek. Way down below the ocean, where I want to be, she made me. Way down below the ocean. Ooh, I'm behind a big rock. I knew I was. Get around this boat, log, whatever it is. Where I want to be, she made me. Like I say, if this is a uni, then I'm going to end this stream and I'll be back more than likely tomorrow morning. And I appreciate y'all coming. Appreciate all you new followers. There we go. That's a nice one. I like that. I like that. I like that too. But anyhow, that's me for a while. So welcome you new chatters. Welcome you new followers.
Guy 69 said, "You'll watch when you stream again."
Well, thank you. Like I say, worst case scenario, if I don't get back on today, it'll be tomorrow morning. I usually get on around 10. I got some things I need to do a little earlier today, so I got on a little earlier than usual. But if I don't get back on today, I'll be on tomorrow morning. Good Lord willing, and I'm still alive and the creek don't rise. But let me get these other 2 rods in, and I'll sign off the same way that I do, or try to do every time. Again, viewers and followers and chatters, thank you for your time. Your time there are three things that are valuable to everybody: your relationship with God, your family, and your time. Your time can never be replaced. Once it's gone, it's gone. Our time, the amount of time we have is finite. So thank you for spending that valuable time with me. I appreciate it. You know, you can buy and replace gold, silver, diamonds, cars, houses, whatever, clothes, but you cannot replace time. The richest man in the world.
One extra follower for you to sign off on.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Fanter. I appreciate that. I really do. That's a good way to sign off on too, isn't it? But I appreciate everybody for sharing your time with me. It means a lot. Because I'm going to be here having fun. So I hope you had fun with me. So remember, learn a little bit, pass it on. That's the fisherman's way. Glitz, good luck with that map down in Texas. Keep on catching them fish. P. Practice, patience, persistence will produce. Okay, so also remember, with this pandemic, we will get through this together by the grace of God. So God bless you and your families, your friends. Stay safe, stay well, and I guess I'll catch y'all later. So it's Double Talk 73. Thanks again for being with me, and I guess I'll catch y'all later. So either later on today or tomorrow morning. You're welcome back anytime. Thanks again. God bless y'all. Bye.